Hey everybody, today we're talking about Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 21, War of the Symbiotes. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and we're closing in on the end of our Ultimate Spider-Man, the initial run here. This is Volume 21, War of the Symbiotes. This contains issues 123 through 128. Got Bendis still writing, Stuart Immonen on art. And I gotta say, this is a weak storyline. It's called War of the Symbiotes, but it's not really that. It's a lot of flashbacks and stuff like that, and basically you have Carnage and Venom kind of coming to blows at the very end of the final issue out of these like 5 or 6 issues here. I think it was supposed to be an adaptation or the storyline of the Ultimate Spider-Man video game, which came out many years ago, even before this one. So like the video game had come out. This is before the Spider-Man 3 movie, after Spider-Man 2, and that legendary video game had come out. So Ultimate Spider-Man was that video game was the next Spider-Man game that was the open world design and all that stuff. It played pretty similar to Spider-Man 2. I didn't have a PS2, but I did have a computer, a PC, so I played the Ultimate Spider-Man game. It could run on my PC, so I played that. I think it was late high school, maybe it was college or something like that. Anyway, I really enjoyed that game. Heck yeah. And it had things like Rhino and Doc Ock and Peter turning into Carnage with the symbiote at the time. And it was supposed to be in canon or in continuity with the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book show or line. And I don't think I was reading the comic books all the time, so I read some speculation online that said it was supposed to take place between like 9 and 10 after the Hollywood arc, maybe right after the Carnage arc. Something like that. Silver Sable's in there, that kind of stuff. Beetle shows up there, and then it kind of never gets mentioned again. Those events never get acknowledged in the comic book. So I guess what they decided to do is to put those events kind of sort of here in War of the Symbiotes. So what you get is just kind of this cramming of events that happened in the video game to try and make sense of it, even though basically now the video game is no longer canon. Beetle does show up. Eddie Brock and Venom do come back. He never does get the white spider on the Venom suit for reasons like he's still just this purple monster. Okay, Beetle does show up. You don't never get any idea of who this person is or who they're working for in this 6 issues. Peter and Mary Jane are going through stuff, and what else happens? Instead of turning into Carnage, Peter gets the symbiote back for a short period of time. And then at the end of it, you have the Ultimates showing up, and then Gwen Stacy basically making a return to the comic book. We knew she was alive, but now Peter knows she's back, per se, or she's trying to be normal and not a symbiote. And that symbiote thing with Gwen being resurrected kind of resolves itself at the very end of the last issue. And I think we're supposed to take her in as a normal part of the cast now. Like, that's what's happening. So, yeah, it feels like Bendis just going, hey, I want to do this puzzle piece. I'm supposed to do these other ones, and I need to find a way to do them very quickly because Ultimatum is coming up and they're going to do the refresh of the line. So it really feels lackluster. Like, the art is good, don't get me wrong, but in terms of Ultimate Spider-Man storylines, this one is really weak. And I think it's a huge letdown and bummer, especially for something called War of the Symbiotes. Like freaking the Clone Saga was awesome in the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, but this War of the Symbiotes, not really a war, more like a skirmish. And it's mostly between Venom and Spider-Man, and the Carnage symbiote doesn't really come in until the very end. Like literally it's like a 5-page fight. So it's kind of misleading to call it War of the Symbiotes. I would call it like Retcon Palooza, or plot threads I forgot I had mentioned and said were in canon in the video game, because I believe Bendis was helping write the video game years and years ago. So that's my thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 21, War of the Symbiotes. Hopefully it gets better from here. and maybe not, because the next one is the Ultimatum tie-in arc. So we'll talk about that in a future video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of War of the Symbiotes down below, and I will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.